Hi everyone, we are going to continue our study of music from the movies on the ukulele with a song called Johnny Be Good, written by Chuck Berry, who just passed away a little while ago, so we're singing it in his honor as well as in memory of that great scene from Back to the Future where Michael J. Fox gets up on the stage long before Johnny Be Good's time to play the music for his parents' generation. What's really nice about this song is it gives us a good introduction to the family of G. So let's zoom on in and take a look at what chords we need for this song. Johnny Be Good is in the key of G, so just a quick review of those chords. We've got G here where I've got my pointer finger on the second fret of C. My middle finger comes over to the second fret of A, and then I put my ring finger in the middle here on the third fret of E. You can also move that around if you want. I know sometimes people swap out their pointer and middle fingers there, but this definitely feels more comfortable for me. When I go to G7, I'm going to shuffle my fingers around. My pointer finger is going to come up to the first fret of E. I'm going to take my middle finger over to the second fret of C, and then bring my ring finger back to the second fret of the A string. Should sound like that. So the regular G sounds like that, and then there's a little jazzy version of it. C, we know we've got our ring finger on the third fret of the A string. And D7, I like to make D7 with my middle finger here over on the second fret of G, and then bring my ring finger back to the second fret of E. So it sounds like that. There are a couple other versions, or sometimes people use different fingers for that, but that's how I do it. You'll want to be sure to be familiar with those chords before we move on. Cool, so once you have your chords, let's take a look at the progression. Now this song is written in the style of the blues, so it follows something very similar to what we call the 12-bar blues, and that is we start off with 4 bars, or 4 groups of 4 beats is what we're talking about here. On that G shape, we're going to jazz it up a little bit in a second, but we start on that G, then we go 2 bars over to the C chord, back to the G chord for 2 bars, then over to D7 for 2 bars, and back to G. If you add it all up, you got 12 bars, 12 groups of 4 beats. So let's bring this in here. We start on that G again. What we're going to do is instead of playing 4 bars of G, we're going to play 3 bars and then play 1 bar of G7 as we transition over to the C chord. I'll call it out for you. Here we go. Starting on G. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3. Here we go. G7 and 1, 2, 3 to C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2 back to G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3 D7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3 and back to G. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's your 12-bar blues. Now you may have heard me using some weird numbers in there, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. That's my way of counting out the bars to myself so that I remember exactly where I am. Just in case you're wondering how I forgot how to count, I have not. That's my little trick. And so what we're going to do is kind of use that pattern all the way through the song. Now, are you ready for one more little trick here? We're going to add what we call the blues shuffle into this. When you're hanging out on that G chord for 3 bars, it gets a little boring. So to give it a little bit of oomph, what we're going to do is start off by strumming that first beat on the G chord. But then when I go in for the second, I'm going to take my ring finger off the string. Leave my pointer and middle where they are, and then put it back on. Strum again on 3, take it off, strum on 4. So all together it sounds like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So start with the finger on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. And it gives it kind of a cool movement through the song, right, as you're sitting on that G chord. So anytime you come back to the G chord, you can use that shuffle, all right? Then, when you switch from the G to the G7, we're just going to do straight strums on that, no shuffle necessary. And then when we go to the C chord, that's where we're going to bring in the other shuffle. So I'm going to play my C, then I'm going to take my pointer finger, reach across to the second fret of the G string, and then take it off, put it back on, take it off, put it back on. And you're listening for the difference on that G string between bum, 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 bum. It's a little bit harder to hear since it's a higher note and kind of blends in with the chord a little bit. So you might want to hit that G string a little bit harder there, right? So anytime you're on the C, that's what you're going to do. Now watch out, there's that little difference. In G, you start with the finger on, and then you take it off. And then when you go to C, you start with the finger off, and you put it on. So just watch out for that, all right? Just a little something to jazz it up. If you feel good about it, go ahead and add it in there. And one last thing to add is that when you're strumming, you can just stick with straight strums throughout the whole thing. If you want to give it a little bit of a rhythmic feel, you can add an up strum. Bop, 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 bop. And they're just going to be nice and even. You definitely want to feel stronger on the down strums. The up strum is there just for rhythmic texture, but you want to keep them really even. Add the shuffle and 1, 2, 3, 4. On, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. Just like that. Let's try getting through the first verse without the words. We'll just do that 12-bar blues starting right now on G, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, G7 straight strums, then to C, shuffle 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, back to G and shuffle 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, D7 straight strums here, 3, 4, 2, 2, back to G and shuffle again. Nice, you try it on your own now. Back to G. 3, 2, 3, G7. Back to G, D7, and G. There you go. So you've got your blues shuffle, you've got the blues pattern. Now what we'll do is add in the words in the playthrough. So stick around, go back and review anything that you need to at this point to get ready, but we're going to play and sing through the whole song. Here we go. All right, take a look at your chord chart. If you don't have one from class, you can download one on my website. You'll notice that the chords there are there for verse 1 and the chorus, but for verse 2 and verse 3, there are no chords above them. That's because there are so many lyrics in the song. I couldn't fit it onto one page with all the chords. So it'll be a great test of your musicality, a great test of your knowledge of this blues pattern. It's going to be the same pattern throughout the whole thing. What I tried to do was underline the words that mark sort of the beginning of each bar. So it won't be the beginning of every chord change, but it'll at least kind of keep you grounded in the rhythm of it. And do your best. I'll try to call them out as best I can as well, but I will warn you, a lot of words in this song. We'll see how I do. Let's warm up with that G shuffle. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. On, off, on, off. Here we go. Verse 1, 2, ready, and deep down in Louisiana, close to New Orleans, way back up in the woods, G7 evergreen. C stood a log cabin made of earth and wood. G lived a country boy named Johnny B. Good. D7 never ever learned to read or write so well. G could play a guitar just like a ring in a bell. Chorus G. Go, Johnny, go, go. 2, 3, G7. Go, Johnny, go. C, go. Go, Johnny, go. Back to G. Go, Johnny, go. D7. Johnny, be good. Back to G. Here comes verse 2. Used to carry his guitar in a gunny sack. Sit beneath the tree, G7 railroad track. C, the engineers would see him sitting in the shade. G, strumming with the rhythm that the drivers made. D7, people passing by, they would stop and say, G, my, but that little country boy could play. Chorus, go, go, Johnny, go, go. G7, go, Johnny, go, go. Go, knows all the blues. Love it. Nice job. That one is super fun to sing and play. So enjoy that video. Go back and use whatever you need anytime. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.